Hello, welcome to the Woolly Bee Podcast. My name is Sarah, my username on Ravelry is MacAttack, and my username on Instagram is Mac08Attack. This is episode 5, and today is October 24th, 2016, which means that there are 2 months until Christmas Eve, which is terrifying. But welcome back. Thank you for coming back for this week, and thank you for checking me out. It has been a couple weeks since I last recorded. And that was due to the fact that I had very little progress for last week and thought it'd be a waste of time. And then this week rolled around and I am getting over, but I have a cold, which is why I probably sound a little froggy, because I am. So I will try to keep the coughing to a minimum, but it's happening. But yeah, thank you. So quick couple weeks in review. Outside of class, I've done some fun stuff. Class has been same old, but not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Here at the University of Virginia was homecoming weekend, and as part of homecoming weekend, there is an event every year called Young Alumni Reunion, or YAR. That is held on grounds near the Rotunda, and so I had 2 of my friends from undergrad come, and we went and did that, and it was a chance for just everybody to kind of get together and meet up. For the last 4 graduating classes. So we did that, we got dinner beforehand, we went out afterwards, we had a really good time. Went to bed way too late the next day, but had a good time. And then we just hung out the next day. I attempted to do homework until they took off and headed back home. And then this past weekend, on Friday my mom came to visit, and so we had a day of apple picking. There's an apple orchard right outside of Charlottesville, right? You pass it if you're going to Monticello from Charlottesville. And so we do that almost every time she comes, or at least we try to go up there, because it's got really good views. So we picked some apples after getting rained on, and had some apple cider donuts. We went to the downtown area and had lunch, stopped into a couple shops that we like. I went into the yarn store, didn't get anything, but stopped in. We had gelato. There's a gelato place down there that's amazing. Amazing. Just totally amazing. So we always go there. And a new candy shop had opened right next door to that. So we checked out that and got more fudge than we arguably needed. That's okay. So we did that, and we had a really good time. It was just a nice day to hang out. And then on Saturday, I went camping. So part of my ed program is that we have 2 placements every semester, or at least for the first year, so 2 this semester and 2 next semester. One of those placements is a content placement, which is what I come from before I usually record. And so that's at one of the local high schools, and I am with a really, really awesome teacher, and I get to observe her AP Environmental Science classes and a couple of her Anatomy and Physiology classes. And so she was taking a handful of her AP Environmental Science students camping and asked if I wanted to tag along, and I was like, of course, why not? So we left Saturday morning. We drove about an hour and 15 minutes or so west of Charlottesville, past Stanton. We were in an area called Stokesville, if you are familiar with that area. I am not. But we went out there, we set up our campsite at a campgrounds there. We went about a couple miles away to George Washington National Forest. Did a hike. I think the area was called the White Oak Recreation Area or something like that. But we hiked up to the summit, which basically we just went up the hill, like mountain or whatever. I don't know. It was a trek, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't that far. Maybe less than a mile. And we ate our lunch on this like rocky outcropping. And then we went back down, and there's a small river there, the North River, and the kids did some stream ecology sampling. And so we all together caught little crayfish, little fishies, baby salamander got caught at one point. We had some, I hope you guys didn't hear that. We had some water spiders, some stoneflies, a whole bunch of cool stuff that we had collected, and they had these little, a lot like the bug collector containers that you may have had as kids, with like the plastic magnifier that you could like look into it. They wanted those for aquatic critters. And so we were doing that, which was really, really cool. dumped everything back in the river, and that was that. But it was a really good time. The kids were all over the place. About half of them fell in to some degree. But, I mean, the river's like this deep. It was like 9 inches. You weren't going very far. But it was a lot of fun. Then we came back to the campsite, did some forest sampling in the area right around the campsite. And then the kids were supposed to have done soil sampling, which we found out they didn't actually do. And so the teacher's going to trick them tomorrow and find out what the deal is, see if they can confess to it. Because basically next to the campsite was a field. There was playground equipment, but it was just kind of like the field area for the campsite. And so the kids said they had gone up there, had dug their hole to look at the soil layers, and somebody from the campsite had come by and said, you know, that's cool, guys, just make sure you fill the hole back in. So my teacher is going to trick them tomorrow, since they didn't actually do that, they just played on the playground, and tell them that they didn't fill the hole in properly, and that somebody tripped and hurt themselves, and the campsite's now suing the kids, and just see what their reaction is, and see if they can confess to it. But, you know, it's not the end of the world, it wasn't a grade, but they should have done it. But we had dinner, we hung out by the campfire, told ghost stories, of course. Went back into that field once the sun went down because you could see the Milky Way, which was awesome. And then there was a small observatory on the campsite grounds that is run by JMU and a local stargazing club. And so we got to go over there and look at some really cool stuff. Some constellations, some stars, saw some double stars. We looked at Mars, lots of cool stuff. And then went to bed for the night, got up the next morning, made breakfast, cleaned up, and headed home. So it was a lot of fun. It was a tiresome 24 hours or so. And it was cold. It was low 50s, give or take, with wind. Lots of wind. So none of the girls slept very well that night because we were all cold. Whereas the guys, for some reason, all slept great. But it was still a really good time. But I came home, I took a hot shower, and I eventually took a nap because that's how I was. Sorry, guys. But needless to say, through all of that, I don't have tons of progress, even though it's been 2 weeks. But I have progress nonetheless. So, this is knitting. That's what you care about. Let's jump into that. So first up is my Lamina Wrap. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will see a picture that I posted earlier today. I have made it through all the colors in my wrap for the first time. So here's what it looks like. That's pretty good, actually. So this is the Lamina Wrap by Amba O'Brien. I am knitting this out of Hedgehog Fibres sock minis, which are what all the color is. And then the gray stripes in between are Periwinkle Sheep Wink in the slate colorway. And that's a sparkle. And so let me go through all of my colors that are in here. So first up we have Sorry Not Sorry, Coral, Heyday, Pinky Swear, Envy, Kid You Not, Hush, Jelly, Skinny Dip, and Harajuku. And so it's going to go through this sequence twice more. I'm going to hope to God I have enough yarn. My little cakes at this point are about this big. So I think we can make it, but I have not weighed anything yet. And once I put on this next gray stripe, I will weigh what I have left of this and see where we're at. This feels pretty light, so we'll see. But I am loving this in all its bright color. It's going to block out, I think, really well. Because right now, I mean, if I stretch this, I can get a good, almost couple feet off the edge. Though on the needles, it's kind of bunched up. But it's a really, really fun, really colorful, real colorful project. So that is how my Lamina Wrap is coming. It's a nice easy knit, which I'm getting kind of bored with the stripes, or with the pattern, but the colors are a lot of fun, so they're keeping me engaged. So I'm excited to see how this, I was excited to see all the colors together. because it really needed all of them together to really get the full picture. And then I'm really excited to see how it looks once I start repeating the colors and having the Kid Not and the Harajuku back up next to each other. So, but it's nice and squishy. It's going to drape really well. And it's super colorful. So that is the only thing on my needles that I've actually touched to speak of. I do have my little brioche cowl experiment. I really haven't knit on it. I may not. I don't really know. I started it because I needed to get a brioche bug out of my system. And I did. So I'd like to finish it at some point, but it's not on the forefront. I do need to pick my brother's socks back up. He is not getting them for his birthday, which is this Thursday. And he knows that, and he's kind of like, okay, whatever. But I would like to put some more progress into them, because I'd really love to give them to him at Thanksgiving. But I'm not going to hold myself to that, because I think the Lamina Wrap is going to take me until at least then anyways, with some other stuff that I've going on. So Thanksgiving or Christmas, definitely by Christmas is my goal. So we'll see. I have like this much cross stitch. Okay. So this here is my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Trick or Treat Costume Club. I don't remember where I was 2 weeks ago. I think I was somewhere with the mummy. But this is what I've done now. So I have the mummy done. I have the O, this is going to say or. I have a cloud. And I have, this is the beginning of the K of trick. That's all I have. Yep, not much. I want to stitch, but I also want to knit in my Lamina Wrap, and I have not had the time to do both. And knitting is one. So, not much progress. This will not be complete for Halloween, unless a miracle happens, but Halloween's a week away. It's not going to happen. So, it'll just kind of go into the whips pile with everything else, as one does. I am kind of putting that down. I do want to work on my National Parks Birthday Club, because the next two parks came out last week. I went to start on it last night and I realized there was a minor error from the chart before, and so I'm going to reevaluate it tonight when I have a little more brain power, see if I want to rip that out or just fudge it. I don't usually like to fudge things, but it's seriously not going to make a difference, so we'll see. But yeah, that's all I have for crafting for this 2 weeks. I have no spinning. Yeah, as I said, it's been kind of crazy. So all my energy has been focused on the Lamina Wrap, and I've been happy with that so far. I'd like to cast on all the things, but I cannot. That's okay. I do have some enabling, as promised from last time. So there's going to be crinkling. I'm sorry. I should have taken stuff out of the bag, so I might. First up, I got my pink field bag. So this is my pink field bag by Fringe Supply Co. This was a limited edition Plucky bag, or a bag for Plucky. And it's not showing up how pink it is, but it's pretty pink. I do need to move my Lamina Wrap into it, because, I mean, seriously. If you have a project this bright, it needs to be in a pink bag. But I've been lazy, is all it is. But I have it, I love it. I love my field bags. So I was so happy I was able to snag one of these. Awesome. Let me get some tea in my, I like big balls and I cannot lie mug. Yep. This I got for Christmas last year from one of my friends who came for Yar. She gave me the previous Christmas a This is How I Roll mug, and it had balls and yarn on it, and so she got me this one this year. And it was the first one I grabbed out of the cabinet, but I love it. I am drinking some kind of tea that's supposed to be good for your sinuses. That's what the box said at the grocery store today. I don't remember what's in it. It tastes a lot like a mint tea. It was also labeled as sleepy time, which it is not sleepy time here. I have work to do, but anything's going to help me right now. I also bought a really big thing of honey, because honey's awesome, and it's good for your throat, and I was out, so, yeah. But, I digress. I did place an order with hazelnuts a couple weeks ago. I don't know. It was right after I recorded last time. And I'm not sure why I placed that order, but I did. I think I just needed some retail therapy for some reason. So I got 4 skeins. They are all her split skeins. So what she, and by she I mean Wendy, and by default her husband Dave, they don't sell yarn with knots, period. If they have yarn with a knot, they put it up at discount. You can buy it, and sometimes the yardage may be slightly less. I've never had an issue, but you can save a couple dollars that way. And hey, every little bit counts. So that's what all of these are. So normally they have one knot, and what they do is they split the skein into 2 smaller skeins that add up. And they're all dyed together, so they all match each other. But if you bought more than one skein, they would be different. So I got 3 skeins of Artisan Sock, which is it is my favorite art ever. So first up is Totally Pink. And that is reading, I don't know, it's that pink, but it's like pinker than that. It is neon pink. So it's a split skein. So if I were to undo this right now, there would actually be 2 skeins. And usually one of them's way smaller than the other. So yeah, so if you see this little bit here, that's one of them. And then you have the main one here. So I use my Artisan Sock for socks because it's amazing. And what I've learned, especially when they're that small of a second bit, is to just wind it into a second ball and keep it, but I often don't keep it because I don't use the full skein anyways. So Totally Pink, it is way pinker than my bag. Though they're looking the same, but it's like way more pink. It's pretty pink. I got Leapin' Lizards, which is a nice, yeah, that's pretty good. A nice spring green. This is going to be, I think, my new go-to. She used to have a color called Euphorbia, which is my absolute favorite color. And I do have a skein of it, and I will hoard that skein. I also have a sweater quantity of it, and it on lace, but they stopped doing that color, and so I think this is their closest substitute to it, so I love it. And then I got Silhouette, which is a gray. Just a nice, neutral, mid-tone gray, because it's useful. I then also got one skein of Lively DK, which is her DK weight. And this was a triple play, so sometimes you'll have it where instead of 2 skeins, like 1 knot and 2 skeins, you'll have 2 knots and 3 skeins, which is what this is. They're further discounted. So this is Strawberry Lemonade, which is going to read as totally orange, and it's not. It's pink. But it's a totally different pink than Totally Pink. See what I did there? It's a much more orangey pink because it's basically a base of yellow with the pink washed over it. But that's what that looks like. So I bought this for a cabled cowl. I think it's called Trick Pony, something like that. But so that's going to look really cool against a navy coat someday. And then, hang on, let me just get this out of the bag. I also, backtracking to hazelnuts, she'll send you little samples of stuff. So this is a color that is coming soon. It's called Shag Carpet. And yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's a deep pumpkin-y orange. So it's not really my color, but it's very Shag Carpet, I guess. It's a color I could see for like my mom or something. Very autumnal. What I have up next is, I don't really know how to describe it because I purchased, I guess what I'm trying to say in my lack of saying anything, is this was a pre-order back in September, so I did not actually pay for it in the past 2 weeks, but it arrived. So I ordered back in September from Desert Vista Dye Works during her anniversary sale, which if you're unfamiliar with that, or just how she runs her business, so she's a self-striping dyer, and her colorways are available for 1 month at a time, and then they go away at the end of the month, and you can get them that same month the following year. But for about a week and a half, usually around end of August or September, she has her anniversary sale, and that's when you can get any color in the shop, but it's kind of like a pre-order. And so I went and got some skeins that I've been looking at for a while, but they came home with me anyways. So the first one is Zombody Says Boo. So let's see. There you go. There you go. So this is part of her zombie line. I'm not a zombie person. I really don't care. I really don't see the appeal of zombie stripes the rest of the year. But for Halloween, I think it's awesome. So this is going to do a stripe of orange, a stripe of zombie, which one of them, they're speckled stripes. And so one of them is more purple, and one of them is more green. But they're kind of like a speckle with purples, and reds, and grays, and greens. So I'll do one of those zombie stripes, a black, and then the other zombie stripe. Something like that. But it looks really cool for Halloween. So that's what these are. These, obviously, again, will not be done for this Halloween, but I own it. Because I do already have a couple Christmas yarns for socks. I have one that's from her that's already knit, my Peppermint Hot Chocolate. And I have another skein from her that's Christmas themed that I'm not knit up yet. So I thought I should have some Halloween as well, because I love Halloween. Then I got Overexposed, which looks like this. Yep, that's pretty darn accurate. So it's pink, orange, purple, and mint. And this was from her music series last year? 2 years ago? I don't remember. And this is for the Overexposed album by Maroon 5, which is the only album I pretty much like from them. But I thought it was kind of cool. And then I got Are You a Parrot Head? Which looks like this. So it's green, blue, yellow, black, and white. I don't remember the order. But this is a color, it's not usually what I go to, but every time I see it knit up, I really like it. So, I got that. There are a couple colors that I did not order that I think because I discovered them kind of after the fact, but I'm interested in, so I have reminders set on my phone for when throughout the year to check on those. But that is what I have for enabling for this week. But I didn't buy all of it this week, so I call it a win. But yeah, it's been a good week, good couple weeks. I don't know if I will record next week or the week after. It kind of depends on how much I get done. This weekend is going to be another weekend filled with things. But I hope to have some more progress, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for coming back this week. I hope you were enjoying fall. It is finally fall. I can see all the yellow leaves outside my window over there. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Halloween. I may have a quasi costume. We'll see. For school. But nothing fancy. But until then, have a great week. And if I don't see you next week, have a fantastic Halloween. Bye, guys. And I forgot to tell you the biggest thing of all. I still don't have details hashed out because planning ahead is crazy. But I mentioned a while back that I wanted to do a knit-along come November. and I think it's time to announce it, considering that November starts in about a week. So, playing off of the Knit Girls Halloween craft doll things, I would like to do a Christmas craft along. There are going to be more rules than their Halloween cat, if you're familiar with that. But it's going to start on November 1st. Whips are allowed. And it's going to be anything Christmas themed. That is knit, crocheted, or cross-stitched, or spun. I think those are the 4 crafts that I'm going to allow, at least for this along. So knitting, crochet, spinning, or cross-stitch. And it's going to be Christmas themed. And so it's going to run from November 1st to December 31st. And as I said, whips are allowed. So the premise of the along of sorts is going to be to make things that are either Christmas themed or Christmas colors. So somehow tie it back to the Christmas season. Again, you can be pretty flexible on this. I do need an actually decent representation or like explanation. But outside of that, the rules are going to be pretty flexible. So if, for instance, I was entering my Lamina Wrap, I may say that it is super colorful like the candy you would see on a gingerbread house. Something like that. So, again, anything that's Christmas colored is pretty much a go. Red, green, white, gold, silver. And while this is Christmas themed, I will let you throw Hanukkah in there because we're not picking one over the other here. So Christmas or Hanukkah themed, but it's going to be labeled as the Christmas along because, sorry. But Christmas and Hanukkah, so blues and silvers and whites are cool too, which you could put that under like Hanukkah or under winter, even though it's not winter yet, but you get the drift. But yeah, it's going to be really flexible. I do hope to have a Ravelry group set up in the next week. It's going to be probably pretty bare bones, but that way you guys can start chatting about it, post your ideas, post your projects, share it around with all your friends. I do hope to give away a couple patterns, a pattern or two by the end of it. We'll kind of go from there. But it should be a lot of fun, I hope. And I like Christmas. I'm not ready for Christmas by any stretch, but I like Christmas. So I hope you will join me for that. And I just wanted to give you a heads up because you have about a week to plan. And then it's November. Hard to believe. But thank you guys for coming back this week. And thanks for watching.